Eh, eh. It finally. Whoa, don't hit the wire. Don't hit the wire. It finally happened. It finally happened. I have an important announcement. Hi. Wrong button. Hi. You saw my Spotify. Oops. I have an important announcement. A couple important announcements. The most important announcement. It is finally under 20 degrees. I'm so happy. Now, if you don't know what that is, basically, it's now cold. We now have some cooling. We have some cooling cold air, okay? The past week, I have been dealing with over 30-degree weather. I've been dealing with over 30-degree weather, pushing 40 degrees, which if you don't know, that's 100 degrees. And now we're sitting at 66 degrees, or my phone, which says 19. 19? 19. It was 44 degrees here last Monday or so. Yeah, yes. Same. The entire week has been a literal flaming hell. And we had a storm roll in last night. 76. See, comfy. 76 is fine. We had a storm roll in. It was raining. And I was like, oh. And I woke up not needing my air conditioner. Like, I didn't have to wake up and be like, oh, wow, it's like 90 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning. It was 35 degrees in Toronto.
Big Brantlers 62
yeah,
cheered
all
X20.
y'all have been,
I'm looking at the cute
I'm
fuscus.
with you. We've all had it rough. Thank you for the biddies, Big Brantlers. Me, the cute fuscus. Hi. Hello. But yeah, the whole week has been really, really, really bad. And now I'm sitting at a cool 19. And by cool, I mean like room tempy. Like, which is good. That's what I want. That's what I need. I'm happy that like I will be able to go out in any vehicle today and just roll the windows down and be fine. And I don't have to take a vehicle that has an air conditioning unit, or I literally die. I literally suffer from heat exhaustion, and then heat stroke, and then I die. Like, that's how bad it is. Hi, Ro. Hi, sweetie. Hi. It's like, oh, I don't have an air conditioning unit, so I guess I'm gonna be trapped inside a metal oven with greenhouse fucking effect bullshit. I'm trapped in a metal oven with like no way to really cool off, and the windows don't work. Little fish are talking about like sweat, not hot. That's true. That's true. I'm fine with hot if I'm in the water. If I'm in the water, I'm fine. But yeah, it's been really bad. I'm just happy that today's good, and I hope that it doesn't get much hotter. You know, I'm cool with like 85. Yeah. But I can't handle 95, 100 degrees. I can't do that. You can't put me in like a 35 and like a 38. You can't do that. Like, I literally will die. Like, I just will cook. And it's like if I had any other job where it's like, okay, I suffered in my car for like 10 minutes, gripping a steering wheel that's singeing my hands. Singeing. I pull my hands off and they're pink, like a lobster, like they've been cooked. And like, you know, I deal with that for like fucking 15 minutes on my way to work, and then I have like a sexy office job where I have my own little cubicle and I have all my little knickknacks on the desk, and then you know,
FNAF underscore F underscore A underscore and is now following.
Thank you for the follow. What was it saying? It'd be fine if I like had like a sexy office job that had like an air conditioned area. It's like, oh, it's really hot. Let's pump up the AC so people don't like hate being here. And I pump up the AC. I'm in my office cubicle. I got my little desk and my chair, and then I got little knickknacks, and I do business. This would be fine. That's not what I have. I go in a car and suffer, and then I get to work, and then I go in a car and suffer again. But this time in a vehicle with no air conditioning. Mine at least has air conditioning, and it's like good enough. Like it takes a second when it's like, 100 degrees. My office is cold year round. But I'm rarely in hybrid work. Yeah, OCBB, that's not what office jobs are like. Let me live my fantasy. My fantasy is the office job would care for me more than, oh, here's like 100-degree weather, here's 38-degree weather, and you're in an oven, and like you don't have an air conditioning unit. They're like, yeah. I lost my train of thought. Be an office pet. I want to be in the office with my desk, and I do business on a computer, and then I'm like, okay, that's it. And then I have like all my little snackies. I have like little snackies at my desk, and I like do little snacks. And then I have all my friends' streams up on my phone. I have like a little ear pod in, so that way I can listen to my friends' streams while I'm at work. And then I sip on hot chocolate because it's so cold in the office that like I can drink hot chocolate and be comfortable. And I have my little marshmallows. And I do whatever you do on a computer, which I don't know what you do on a computer outside of business. So you're doing like this. You like type things. And then that's it. After typing all this stuff, that's it. You're good. You are a marshmallow? I am. What flavor marshmallow would I be? Mint. It'd be a mint marshmallow. They exist, and you put them in hot chocolate. I don't like mint. Guys, if I rebranded off green because I don't want to be associated with mint anymore, would you hate me? I don't like mint. I would never do that. Lime marshmallow in my hot chocolate, I guess. Put a little lime marshmallow in your hot chocolate. Mint is amazing. Well, mint, I got mint toothpaste. I was like, let me go try a different brand, and they only have mint. And I was like, okay, well, I'll try this out just to see what it's like. I got a small bottle. And I'm waiting until the toothpaste I have runs out, which I'm almost out. That's why I restocked. And so, like, the thing for me is mint burns. And it's not like a refreshing burn. It's a, oh God, my mouth is chemically on fire burn. And then my lips get irritated. Isn't a good example of mint? Well, you see, when you brush your teeth every day with mint toothpaste, and it's a literal hell, and it smells like mint, and then as a kid you go, huh, maybe I shouldn't do mint ice cream, because maybe it's gonna taste bad, and I don't want to waste my money. And so what else happened to you? So I say, but you aren't going to make it. I'm not. No, I am going to. No, there were types of mint. Unrelated species called mint. What? There's more mint? Is that what? It's not just naming conventions, they're actually different? I thought they were being like, this is Cool Breeze mint. No, it's like spearmint, cool mint, fresh mint. Like, is that actual different mint? Or is it like they just naming it to be kooky? To be silly little guys. The herb? Not that I can recall. I don't know why I would put mint in my mouth like that, but no. I just know I'm not a fan of it. 25 type of mint herb? Well, they can all fuck off. I got mint toothpaste. I got a small bottle. It's like a different like brand. Because I usually use regular paste. And there's only like one brand that has regular paste. And that's like regular paste. What I mean by that is flavoring. Meaning it doesn't have any flavor. It just tastes like the paste. Which is fine. But I was running out. And I wanted to try something different. I got a small bottle of mint. Just because I wanted to try a different brand. Peppermint. Spearmint. Winter. Lemon mint. Lemon mint? Lemon? I raised my voice so loud I hurt my throat. Okay. Mint can fuck off. I don't need any of that. We got mint toothpaste. We're going to try it out. I'm probably going to hate it and be like, well, wasting my money, or I'm going to have to use this and be uncomfortable brushing my teeth. But I wanted to try it out because I haven't had mint toothpaste in like 10 years because I was buying regular paste for myself when I became an adult and I wasn't reliant on my parents' income. So I have been buying non-mint toothpaste for over 10 years at this rate. I've been like, yes, I can brush my teeth and not suffer. But I was like, you know what? Let me go back and try it again. Maybe genetics changed. Maybe, I don't know, my taste changed. Maybe mint doesn't like burn my mouth or feel like a chemical burn or leave my a red ring around my lips, because that's what it did. It left a red ring around my lips. And then I swapped to regular paste and I didn't have the red ring anymore. You're all weird. Speaking of weird, I'm gonna pause the music. Let's get the game launched up. I am right at the end. As far as I'm aware, I have to do a guidance mission. You're physically harmed by a plant. Weird. Yeah, you know, when you get that poison oak, that poison ivy, and you touch it, man, you're physically harmed, aren't you, little bitch? That's what I thought. When you grab that kiss from a rose by a harmless plant, when you get that rose and you get kissed by a rose, you're like, owie, my fingies. Owie, my fingies. Owie, my frames. My frames. You're like, owie, my frames. What is related to the medication aspirin? I don't need no aspirin. Okay. I have to make it full screen. So honestly, it could play like this, honestly. Oh, no, not vertical sync, no. My frames! Okay. So as far as I'm aware, I'm... Hold on. Let's do a little spoiler. Window mode. Let's do a little spoiler. Dude, let's do a little... Hopefully it doesn't break my VTuber. I'll just fix it if it does. Where is it? Here? Yeah. Presented without commentary. I don't know if you saw someone told me it had co-op. Someone told me it had co-op, and I was like, and then they were like, oh, I'll like play with you on stream, and then I'll hold your hand and like tell you where you need to go. And I said, say no more. I said, say no more. Comes when it got delayed 2 weeks. That's fine. So I was like, okay, there's a Steam summer sale going on, and System Shock 2 Remastered is $30. I said, okay, I just got paid today. I just got paid. That works out perfectly fine. Like, I'll spend a little bit of money, get some stuff that I wanted to get on Steam sale. I know what game I'm going to continue after I beat this one. Because System Shock I'm not going to be able to do with my friend on Thursdays. So I was like, all right, well, we could do it like a Friday thing. So, like, my Wednesday and Thursday could be this other game I just got that I've been really excited for. And I was waiting for a sale because it's been out for a while, and I've been waiting for a sale for me to get it because I ain't going to buy a full-price game after, like, 5 years. Like, that's not happening. When a game's been out for, like, 5 years specifically. If it's a game I'm excited for, like Doom, I might get it full price if I want to play it. But the situation is... I'm going to be doing one game on Thursday, Friday, and then, or excuse me, on Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, because Thursday is hospital day for him. So Friday, he's like, I'll play with you, and we can play. I'm like, okay, so like, we'll get something kind of set up, and we'll figure out like the scheduling and all that. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, Bioshock, we are right at the end. We're right at the end. We're here. I am now a big daddy, and I have a little girl. Full circle. Also, I want to hold my thought because I'm looking at this title screen. I'm like, oh. And if they are making a new Bioshock and they're doing like Bioshock 3, I'm going to be so excited. I'm going to be so excited. Let's load this one up. So, I believe today's going to be a bit shorter of a stream because we just have the mission leading up to the final boss. And then I want to show off maybe some of the commentator dialogue stuff that they had, like that I found. Like maybe click on a couple and see what those are.
Imprisoned for 10,000.
Okay, let's hope this doesn't break. Gonna hope this doesn't break on me. Okay. Wrong button. I gotta swap to this one. And then here. And it hasn't broken, but it did shrink something. Huh. Weird. Weird. You want Buff Kiss? Gotcha, fam. Buff Kiss, Buff Kiss, Buff Kiss, Buff Kiss, Buff Kiss, Buff Kiss. Feels weird. Like, this shrunk. This screen I'm looking at shrunk. That's weird. But it doesn't look weird on the VTuber, so we're fine. I am the big daddy. That's true. I am the loss of frames. That's true. Okay, good. We don't gotta worry about this for a minute. Alright. So, we're at the final mission. We gotta guide the little girl, and we gotta do the thing. I do want to save my thoughts for the end, but what I also will make note of is I'll talk about the game and stuff for an extended time. So I know we'll beat the game pretty quick. I know that will happen. So once the game's beaten, we'll just go through. There's like a museum thing that I can take you guys through, and we can kind of look at some of the stuff that's in like this little museum thing, and then also I'll talk about the game a little bit, and so we'll do like a hour and a half, 2 hour stream. Maybe it won't be. This is a whole area. I remember this vaguely. So we have to protect the little girl.
Hurry, Mr. B.
You don't even remember most of it. Put you on a sub when you were just in the brand.
Don't be a slowpoke, Mr. B.
I need her to open up all the doors.
Don't wait for slowpokes.
Don't wait for slowpokes. Oh!
Hurry! Hurry, Mr. Bugs!
A man creates a parasite, steals, or asks for his share.
Hop up, Mr. B. No time to waste.
I really wound you up with that wife and child bit.
Yeah, the wife and child were never real.
Baby, wee baby Patrick. Maybe one day I'll get me a real family. They play well with suckers.
Yeah, they can't handle my fucking wrench. Also, it's like a museum. Oh my god.
Time to go, Mr. B.
Their camera?
Don't be a slowpoke, Mr. B.
We love a good jump hack. Okay, put this here. That there, and then we'll just continue there. Test subject? Oh, just use that so I can take the free one. Okay.
Hurry, Mr. B. I can see the angel dancing in the sky.
Oh, she gonna still do it? Oh, is she like...
This one's right, Mr. B.
Even though they are physically free of the need to gather, Luciano's mental conditioning still holds them to their terrible past. For sins such as this, you can never atone.
So, like, even though I freed them from the... Even though... Ow, 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 ow. Even though I have freed them from the physical part of it, they still feel like they have to... They still feel like they have to suck the atom out of things. The universe is done so well in this game. God, my wrench is so strong. I've also taken like photos of nearly all of them. I just don't remember if I maxed it out. I don't remember if I maxed out the photos. That's the only problem. Alright, well, we did that.
Hurry, Mr. B. Angels are waiting.
The cute little med kit there. Don't need that. I don't remember when I first played this game forever ago. I don't remember.
Hop up, Mr.
I don't remember ever taking a whole lot of photos of everybody. And I also remember using the guns. And I regret not taking photos of everybody and then just using the wrench.
Hurry, hurry, Mr. Bubbles.
Like, the wrench is OP. What are we talking about here? Like, all you gotta do is just smack them with the wrench. They cannot... Ugh. Okay, let's do a little circle. They can't handle the wrench. So they're walking down here, and they have the little girls walking down here. I don't even know what this is. The atrium? What is this for? Oh, it's a turret here. Probably hack that. So, what are, like, there are these... It's like a testing area, but for, like, what? Why is it a museum and a testing area? I'm, like, so lost. Because it's like a museum.
Hurry, Mr.
But that in their heart will draw the attention of this blaster.
Right, this is a museum. Yeah, hit with the flamethrower. Oh, you fuck. Now I don't get the achievement for the little girl never getting hit, if that's there. Hopefully there is no achievement of little girl takes no damage, because I'm fucking mad. So I ain't redoing this shit. I ain't gonna sit there and try and go back and forth on this. This takes too long. Where'd she go?
Hurry, Mr. B. Angels are waiting.
Bro, she's sprinting! No, the turret! So she sprinted into a turret without. Oh my god.
Hurry, hurry, Mr. Bubbles. Hurry, Mr. B. I can see the angels dancing in the sky.
Is that like. Okay, we're down here now.
The temptation to break curfew to make a little extra added.
Hop, hop, Mr. B.
Breaking
No time to waste.
Stay on the level.
I got a shark. Oh, it's a whale shark. I do not have a way of healing her. I do not have a way of healing her. This is upsetting. Oh, I'm slow. Girl, where are you going?
Don't know what I was thinking. Never spliced up once the whole time I was down here.
Never spliced up once.
Figured it was bad to mix business with pleasure, but
I gotta like fix my VTuber.
all the nose candy and low polish I've been wasting time with. This stuff is the mother's milk.
Because I'm like leaning down and it's bugging me and I need to fix that. But it's scary, the alt tab. It's very scary, the alt tab, without breaking the fucking tracking. Hold on. And then there. So now I shouldn't be looking down all the time. And I didn't break the VTuber. Perfect. Perfect. I'm scared to do it because I don't want to break the VTuber.
Hurry, hurry, Mr. Bubbles.
There we go. Got you out of there. I wish they had like the little things. They got everything like on display here.
Waiting for our kisses.
This stream might not be as short as I thought it was going to be. Might.
Hurry! The harvesting will draw the attention of the splicers.
Hurry, they have the attention of the splicers. What do you think I'm fucking doing? Why are you doing this dramatic music? Well, I'm trying to hack. Are they always the same? I feel like these are always the same. I feel like I'm always doing like the same pattern.
Hurry, Mr. B. Angels don't wait for slowpokes.
I could take a beating in this armor. Why haven't I been wearing Big Daddy armor the whole time?
Dancing! Is that so? Hurry! Hurry, Mr. Bubbles!
Just run around with like fucking plate mail.
Hop, hop, Mr. B! No time to waste!
And it's crazy that she's so fucked up in the head that she's like, she has to like...
Hurry!
That's all.
Hurry, Mr. Bubbles!
She, like, there are these little bodies here and she like, has to, you know, suck them. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Don't be a slowpoke, Mr. B. Angels don't wait for slowpokes.
I'm not even that slow. Look at the fishes.
Hop, hop, Mr. B! No time to waste!
Why do they make a museum of all the fishes? Hi, D. Oh.
Hurry, Mr. B!
I'm stuck between...
Hurry, Mr.
What is it? Can you like chill? Hi then.
Better for the girls to be with you. Better with you than alone. Alone in the crawling darkness.
Is there loot here? There was. He was hiding a little loot hole. He had a grenade launcher.
Don't be a slowpoke.
Okay.
Angels don't wait for slowpokes.
Better to be with you than alone in the cold dark. That's true, I guess. We almost done. Through all that. I think we gotta come up here and do shit. Why is it so bright there?
Hurry, Mr. B!
Girl, you gonna be on fire!
Waiting for our kiss.
That might be plenty for the working scrubs and the pencil pushers, but I need more. More! I want a spice till there ain't nothing left to spice with!
I might as well use these auto hacks. Didn't need anything. So now he didn't splice at all while he was down here. Well, isn't this the biggest boss room ever?
Pain is nearby. You are reaching closer.
I don't really need anything.
There. You must use the needle of the little sister to drain Fontaine of his atoms.
Right.
It is the only way to defeat
I have like everything because I've been just using the wrench. I will take that. And I will take that. Ooh, so happy I saved all my atoms.
Stick it in the bad man!
Save. Let's save in case it crashes and I have to redo that whole thing. And I don't want to redo that whole thing. D, I'm excited for the weekend.
What are you waiting for? Pick up the needle!
Fontaine waits above. There will be no going back from here. Make
Okay.
sure you are ready to face him before moving on.
Can I even go back? I mean, like, there's the bathysphere, right, where we entered. Which is somewhere. I don't know where. I guess like the first floor of that. So like we can enter there. We could go back, but is there like? I don't know. We're done. I'm done with this game. Hi, Helpful Husky. We saved before thing. And now we have the boss fight. This is going to be a pretty short stream. That's good because I kind of want to take a nap. But I'm excited for the weekend. I got the game, D. D, I got the game. We have to do a little test, make sure everything works. And then we got to work on scheduling and what works best for you.
I remember when me and the crowd put you in that sub. You were no more than 2.
I did. I got the game because there was a Steam sale, so I was like, okay, let me get this other game I'm gonna play after this one because I want to play a Souls-like, and then I'll get the System Shock 2 set up, and we'll get like a thing set with you. And why was there a loading? Why'd you load like that? Okay, this I remember. So there he is. He jacked his ass up into some machine. He made himself super buff. Oh, I'm gonna keep collecting Adam. All right, wrench. Oh, I gotta. Yo, where are we doing this? Hold on. I want. Bring out the bees. Owie. Get fucking wrenched. I heal so much. He can't do anything. He can't do anything to me. He can't hit with the bees. I have unlimited mana and unlimited HP.
Need a minute. And I'm gonna cut you into bits.
And so Jack put his chunks his beard. Yeah. Bro, why do we have so much Adam? Some for the bees! You're getting wrenched. I'm wrenching you. You're being wrenched. Oh, I'm not a Big Daddy anymore. Get off of me! Get him off me! Get him off of me! He doesn't know to do about the bees! I might have to heal. No! Attack them, my bees! He doesn't know what to do!
Catch my breath.
Hi, Zen. Hi, Quibble. Bro, I got like 1,000 Adam? Yo, he had 1,000 Adam in him.
I had you built. I sent you topside. I called you back, showed you what you was capable of. Even that life you thought you had, that was something I dreamed up and had tattooed inside your head. Now, if you don't call that family,
The players defeated Atlas. Get him, little girls! Oh, that's gotta be painful. We beat it! We love it. And little sister savior, because I'm a good guy.
They offered you this city.
I don't want this fucking city. I want to blow it the fuck up.
And you refused it. And what did you do instead? What I've come to expect of you.
My heart! I
You
saved the
gave
little
them the one
girls.
thing that was stolen from them.
I showed them the real world.
Chance.
Where's the scene? They went to
chance to learn.
college!
To find love.
And you got married!
To live.
And you have a baby. Oh, I don't
And
know
in the
about those
end,
babies.
what was
And then
your reward?
I'm grandpa and I'm on my deathbed.
You never said. But I think I know.
Love the like
Family.
chains on the wrist tattoo of like, you know, slavery. We beat the game! I didn't realize it was gonna be like 40 minutes, but I would not have been able to do that yesterday. Oh, they don't make games like they used to! They don't make games like they used to! Bioshock is like a 9 out of 10, just so you know. You should go play it. There's a Steam sale going on right now, and so like Bioshock 1 Remastered is probably on the Steam sale for like $8. So you should go ahead and like buy it, and then you can go play it, and then you can go miss all the things. You can go get all the things that I missed. You should go do that. Can we talk about how like the people who like made this were like, okay, we're gonna have a city under the sea, and like, what are the problems that they're gonna encounter, and what's their society gonna be like? And they fully flesh out this entire Atlantean city, and like, they go through and like make it make sense. And then like the theming and the setting of like when it takes place, and like the architecture, I love the architecture. I love it all. Then they threw it all away. They said no more Bioshock. They said, oh, we're gonna do Infinite and we're gonna be in the sky and everything's gonna be like, oh, America. Bioshock Remastered is currently $5 on the Steam Summer Sale. Go buy it if you can. If you got $5 and you like shooter games, go buy it. It's a little spooky. Ro will complain about the cum men. The cum men are only in like one part, and it's like a secret area. But there's a lot that I missed, and there's a lot of things that you can do. And by a lot, it was really just like one thing. But it's a game that's like worth experiencing yourself, I think, and like going through and really just, you know, get the wrench upgrades and beat the shit out of everybody with the wrench. I mean, that's all you got to do, right? That's what I did. Big wrench upgrades, big wrench, big swing, big wrench. Yeah, I mean, I really don't know what's talking about. It's short, it's sweet. I think it's like worth $5. I don't know at this day and age if it's worth full price, but you probably don't want to ever get it full price. You'll probably only get it like for $10 at most, and it's on like a 50% sale. Mannequins around when you're not looking at them. They're not even mannequins. They're not mannequins. They are people covered in white paint. What are we talking about, Ro? What are we talking about? Ro, you should play Bioshock and let me watch. You should play it and let me watch. I wanna see you be like, I'll be like, don't worry, I'm here, and I put my hands on your shoulder and I give you a shoulder massage while you deal with the cum men. We can play Bioshock 2 now? No, because there's a Steam Summer Sale and we got other games. But maybe in the future I'll come back and we'll do Bioshock 2. I just did 1 because I was like, I did System Shock 1 and was like, I was like, let's go to Bioshock. They're the after System Shock 1. But I do have the remastered of Bioshock 2, and we can do that one. Was it on sale? So I owned Bioshock 2 original when it like came out, and I played it then. And then the remaster version, the remaster was given to me for free because I owned the original. And then I picked up Bioshock 1. I had Bioshock 1 on disc, like not Steam. And then I went and snagged Bioshock Remastered, and that was just so I could, I don't know, play it in the future, like when it was on a sale like 5 years ago. Didn't think I was going to be streaming then. And I didn't think it was going to be it's so pretty. Well, then we'll play that one probably later. But I have it. But I have another idea, because I did get another game on the Steam sale that wasn't System Shock 2, because that wasn't on sale. And I've been itching for a Souls-like, and I figured, okay, Fridays, as far as I'm aware, Fridays are going to be like maybe the day that I'm going to do System Shock 2 with a friend who's going to hold my paw and guide me through it and tell me where I need to go, and he's going to like literally lead me there. And then I get to like kind of be the cameraman, and then he like plays the game, and then I do things like blow up containers when he's nearby them, and then he looks at me and I'm like, that wasn't me. Tee-hee, it wasn't me. And then they ruined the whole idea with Bioshock, and they were like, ugh. And then they ruined Bioshock by doing Infinite, where like they had Bioshock and Bioshock 2, and then they were like, okay, well, let's do Bioshock but in the sky. Okay, that's fine, I guess. And then they're like, let's ruin the story of Bioshock and be like, there's multiple dimensions and universes, and oh, this is the one if he went to the sky and was like super in love with America instead of being super hateful against government. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Stop getting fancy with your goddamn writing. Stick to what's good. Under the Sea is where I'll be. Sea Lab 2021. Monsters. Chemically Altered Buff Men. Skaven. Airplane Crash. Lighthouse. That's it. You don't need any more. Stop. Stop. And you want to know something? You want to fucking know something? They knew they fucked up. They knew they fucked up because they released a 2-chapter thing on Bioshock Infinite, which takes place in Bioshock 1 when the events happen. They fucked up. And they knew they fucked up with the story, and they said, here's 2 DLC, has nothing to do with Infinite, and you're just a lady in Bioshock 1, and it's New Year's, and everybody's going psycho, and she's trying to survive. And that's how you knew they fucked up. And if they're doing a Bioshock 3, if I see a Bioshock 3 announcement, okay, Google, has Bioshock 3 been announced?
While a game officially titled Bioshock 3 Inches has not been announced, the third main
No, I don't want.
Bioshock
No,
series
okay.
was Bioshock Infinite, released in 2013.
I don't care about. Okay, so Bioshock 4, often referred to as Bioshock 4, is confirmed to be in development by Cloud Chamber, a 2K Games studio. However, there's been very little official information. Recent rumors and reports suggest that 2K is preparing for a big announcement related to the Bioshock franchise that could happen before the end of summer 2025. This is now going to be for Bioshock 4 or a remake or remaster of the original Bioshock. We already have that. Or a Bioshock film. A film in Bioshock could be interesting. But it depends on when are they doing it. Your ire is aimed at one guy who was sort of Kenneth Levine. He went crazy during the DLC after the reviews. Burial at Sea, yeah. Burial at closing. So, Burial at Sea is what it was called. He was getting ready for Rational Games. Okay. It went crazy during the DLC after the reviews of Burial at Sea ended up closing Irrational Games over it and took really long hiatus. Well, that's part 1, honey. There's 2 parts of Burial at Sea. Just launched a new studio working game called Judas. Bioshock 4 by Cloud Chamber is going to be made by a brand new studio. Has nothing to do with the original team. Well, that's fine. As long as it's this, but it looks better, and there's, like, more places to explore, and, like, it's good. Like, I don't give a shit who does it. It just needs to be... Why's it been crazy every episode? I meant episode 2. Batch crazy because he was literally crazy. Yeah, well, fuck him. Probably because the reviews are like... Yeah, the reviews are like, yeah, buy Bioshock Infinite on sale, and then get Burial at Sea. Which I would do. I believe I can just do the DLC. Like, I don't think I'd play Infinite on stream, but I definitely, if I have like a little bit, I might download it and then just play the Burial at Sea. Like, and like show that. Because Burial at Sea part 1 and 2 take place, I remember it's New Year's in Rapture, and everybody's fine and everybody's partying, and then shit kind of is weird, and it's like, yo, what are they doing down here? Why are these little girls going missing? Like, there's so many missing girls, and like, something's not right. Because I believe you're like a private detective, right? You're like a private eye. I know you're a girl, but I think you're a private eye. So Bioshock 4 might be good, might be terrible. We're going to try to do the whole Halo 4 thing. Listen. If it's... So, the problem is... Bioshock Infinite is fine. It's the story I don't like. The story ruins, like, so much about Bioshock. Because it was simple, right? Bioshock was simple. Under the Sea is a sea lab. It's a giant fucking base, a giant town, a giant city that's underwater. Some crazy guy was like, I want to get away from God. I want to get away from government. And he built it, right? I don't know how. Who cares? And he builds this underwater city, and people come here to, like, do science and do things like that. And then it's a space game. Oh, Judas is a space game. Yeah, I don't know anything about Judas. We have fucking Prey. We have Prey for that, which is a game I do want to stream at some point. I want to do Prey. So this guy, like, the plot was simple. Prey is great. I know. I want to do Prey at some point. Really surprising. Yeah. Now Sir Pulse, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Fusky Wusky crew. You better be a Wusky, so I'll make the rules. Howdy, howdy. So, like, the thing is, if they're doing a Bioshock 4, and it's set in the good one, not the, hey, infinite and infinite possibilities, right? If it's set here, then, like, what do they do? Because 1 is perfect and succinct. You're a sleeper cell. You got on an airplane that was going over the lighthouse. Fontaine activated you at that moment to knock you out of the plane, to have you crash here next to this lighthouse in the middle of the ocean. Considering that if you stay in the water, you're probably going to drown and die, you go in. And then you kind of just make your way down. He then immediately greets you, saying, hey, you need to help me get my family, or whatever, I need help. And you're like, okay. And then he's like, you got to defend yourself because, like, there's monsters around. And you're like, okay. And he's doing the would you kindly sleeper cell mind control thing, right? So he's doing like that. Bioshock 2 wasn't exactly canon, kind of like Fallout Vegas. It was done by Santa Monica Studio spinoff. Very controversial. Bioshock 2, what I'm saying is, when does it take place? Because 1, you go in, you do your situation, and then you leave. Now, what I will say is, we didn't blow up the city. It's still there. So maybe that's what they might be working off of, because it's technically not destroyed. And I don't know when Bioshock 2 takes place. I just know it's like, you're a big daddy, and you're in the city, and then you're moving around. But I can't remember what it was. Oh, I don't want the challenge rooms. I don't want the challenge room. Okay, so there's a couple things. One, there's an ad coming up. It's 3 minutes. I'm gonna sit here. We're just gonna chill and talk more about the game. And then when we come back, I'll take you guys through the museum. I did a test run of the game, make sure everything worked, and I clicked on the museum to see what it was about. I was like, ooh, the museum is basically filled with a bunch of stuff that they didn't add into the game. It was never a part of the finished product, and it was them tossing around ideas on what they wanted to do. So the museum will be nice. It'll take up like 30-ish minutes, and then we can look at some of the director's commentary, and then we'll get like a 2-hour stream in, and then a 2-hour stream is fine. A nice like shortened stream for the end of the game, and then yeah, and then we'll. Oh, today's Friday. Forgot. Today's Friday. You won't see me tomorrow, but I do want to get stuff set up and see like and work with my one friend D. D is like, oh, I'll take you through the game. We'll like go and do it together. So we'll go do that. So yeah, I'll see all of you in 3 minutes, and when we get back, we'll check out the museum. Okay, bye. If Bioshock 4 happens, I really don't think they plan to call Bioshock 4 try a new complex narrative. I think it has to be Bioshock. Still be Bioshock, but it's gonna be this reaction of Halo 4. And I would say it's because it's a long time without updates to 2K. I'm not sure if the project. Yeah, I know there's rumors being talked about it, and and people are saying there's rumors going around that they want to release information about it before the end of the summer. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll wait and see. You know what I mean? Like, there ain't no harm in waiting and seeing. There ain't no harm in waiting and seeing. We just wait and see. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoy the theming of Bioshock 1 and 2. I like the Under the Sea city. I like the vibe that it gives. I like this utopia that you happen upon after its collapse. And everybody's been taking this, like, slug juice, this undersea slug juice. And they've been modifying their genes to make themselves what they want to be. But the side effect of that is it makes you fucking crazy. And if you recall in some of the audio logs that you pick up, there's the one that's pretty prominent is the surgeon who's like doing a nose job on a lady using Adam. And the nurse is like, oh, good job. You did a great job. Awesome. And they're like, she's done and all stitched up. And then he's like, wait, maybe she could also use like, a facelift here or whatever the fuck. And he starts cutting into her again. And he's like humming as he's cutting into her, completely ignoring the nurse who said, she didn't ask for that. She didn't pay for that. Like, what are you doing? And he's like, ba ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da. And then, he's going psychopathic and they have to call in, like, they're like calling the head doctor, calling this, like, get him out of here. Like we got, like, so anyone who's splicing themselves up is going insane. So Fontaine never spliced himself up, as he mentioned at the end. Never did. I don't think fucking, because he didn't look spliced at all, but he was crazy, but that might be for different reasons. The Andrew Ryan, the owner of the city, right? Andrew Ryan didn't look spliced up either when we found him and killed him. But they were like, nah, we ain't gonna touch that shit because we ain't knowing what that's gonna do. And boy howdy, were those two people smart. And maybe also Su Chong, the doctor, I don't think he took anything. And also, I bet the lady, the Jewish and or German, whichever one, I don't know. I can't remember her name, but she was speaking German. She probably didn't take any Adam either, which is why all of them were like fine. But anyone that took Adam to like get abilities like kind of went insane. So I like this. We created an underwater city. It's a utopia away from all this stuff. And then we introduce this one thing that like triggers the whole event, and then like to kind of see the outcome. I think they did a really good job telling that story. prefer a reboot. I just don't know what the hell Bioshock ever had to do with the whole Disney princess vibe. What? Kind of. Bioshock Disney princess? Big Daddy Disney princess? Big Daddy Disney princess? Oh, Elizabeth. Yeah, no, that's the problem. Infinite ruined the story. That's what I keep saying. Infinite had a great gameplay. It felt good. There's a lot of fun things going on, right? The gameplay was fine for like a boomer shooter. The story was bad. I didn't like the story. I didn't like this, okay, so it's Bioshock 1, but this time in the sky, and also, yay America, and, also racism, and then, like, you're in there, and then, like, it's just the same thing as 1, except in the sky, and then they try and tell this narrative that Elizabeth is, like, this Mary Sue who can cross between universes. Hi, Crossbar, hi. Libertarian Hellscape. Yeah, that's what I like. I like that it's like this taken to its extreme. And so like you have Elizabeth and she's like, I'm so pretty and I'm the most important girl ever. And then like she's some sort of baby that came from another dimension and that's why she has interdimensional power. Spoiler. She's like, she was given from one universe that was dying, and he wanted to save his daughter, so he put her into, like, another universe, because some man made interdimensional teleportation. And then they were, like, trying to be all, like, cool, and, like, it's always a lighthouse. And then, like, there was, like, a bunch of different lighthouses with, like, Elizabeth explaining the same thing, and you're, like, walking along, like, hoo-doo-boo-doo-boo-doo-boo-doo, you know? And then, like, it's just, like, oh, it's... the lighthouses are all interdimensional. And it's like, that was the stupidest thing I've ever heard or read. It was bad. It was awful. The game had good ideas and direction. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Overall, the story of Infinite was just, it fell flat. And I think it ruined the franchise, which is why you don't see more Bioshock games kind of coming out or more spin-offs or anything. Like, you see so many Fallout games. I mean, Halo went forever. You see so many Final Fantasy games, right? They keep going. They're games that go up to, like, fucking 16, right? But, like, this one, like, they just were like, let's do this really cool, like, story about interdimensional travel. Good! Fuck them. What's worth some are brilliant? Yeah. Yeah, he's doing his own. It was Judas or whatever. Yeah, Vic is at work, so he probably didn't see that message of Benoit. He probably didn't see that one. But yeah. Welcome to the Museum of Orphaned Concepts, a guided tour of ideas that Irrational Games discarded or reworks heavily during the making of that. Oh no, yeah, it's not a problem at all. I just figured like he's like there's people at work, so like he probably didn't get the message, but I was explaining as well. Yeah, I was already told that. So this is a little thing they created. I don't know what I don't think this was in the original. I think this is only in the remaster. And I said it's that, right? Andrew Ryan presents the Kick X, 2 weeks only at the Fleet Hall. So I walked around here and saw a lot of the stuff. And this is a museum showcasing all the stuff that they were going to do or put into the game, but then decided not to. So we have the Hanging Sea Life, which is all up here. Not as much cut concept as an Easter egg for the observant museum visitors. These sea creatures can be seen swimming past the player's view during the Bathysphere ride down the Rapture and Bioshock's opening sequence. Never saw this? That's why I figured I want to show it off. Because we have like an hour to kill. So I was like, okay, we can run through the museum and then maybe listen to some of the director's commentary and see what that's all about. And then do that. The thing I can tell you is Bioshock is definitely based off a lot of gameplay from System Shock 2 implemented, so it feels very similar. Okay, let's go. Well, when we do System Shock 2, potentially next Friday, it's going to be fun. So here they have all this, like, these are all the things that you saw fly by at the beginning of the game. And they have, like, these models. You can get in. You can kind of look at some of them. They're not finished, and they definitely don't look as good compared to some of the other models. But they have like some of the concept art behind there. So this is all like concept art. It's all concept models. So none of it is necessarily going to be finished. That's no flaws. I was excited to try Atomic Heart. I need to look and see if that's on a sale. If that's on a decent sale, I might actually pick it up. And then all of them have dialogue, which I appreciate. So you can read some stuff. So this is the Slow Pro Foom. I don't know what this is about. Irrational's internal name for this prototype Big Daddy variant, who mauled players with an enormous hook and fired iron bearings from a barrel, stood for Slow Projectile Fucked Up Melee. He survived long enough to become a fully functional AI, but the team eventually cut him to focus on polishing other Big Daddy types. This model later reappeared in Bioshock 2 as the Rumbler, throwing miniature turrets instead of cannonballs. So he has like a hook that he attacks with, and he launches stuff. And then we have this guy with like the double fist gauntlet. Early Bouncer. This original model for the Bouncer type of Big Daddy featured a flat-headed drill at the end of each arm. The Big Daddies were envisioned as the builders of Rapture, with this weapon modified from tools they would have used in its construction. When the Gatherers were reimagined as Little Sisters, which we'll get into, because the Gatherers were going to be something else, which I thought was crazy. Or reimagined as Little Sisters, one of the Master's drills was changed to be a gloved hand, so the two characters could interact with each other. So this is like right before they finalized the Big Daddy, they had these like flat drills. And then when they were like, oh, we're going to make it like Big Daddy, Little Sister, right? They gave him a hand so that he could like hold the Little Sister's hand. It's interesting. Also, this is what the Little Sisters are going to be. Oh, can I look at this? I can. Okay, so before that, Forest concept art. Irrational artists tried to envision how an underwater city would actually function in this early conceptual work of Rapture. One idea imagined a thick forest for the purpose of oxygen exchange. Seen here with the observation catwalk running around the edge, the concept of using trees for oxygen exchange made it into the final game as the Arcadia level, right? Is there a... No, there's not one over there. Okay. So, right here, the artists tried to envision how an underwater city would function. Little did they know that a lot of Earth's oxygen is produced by, like, sea plants. But it doesn't matter. This is still cool. But they were like, if we have a city underwater, you need oxygen. Because you can't breathe water. So, like, they were like, how are we... Like, they sat down and was like, how do we get this to work? What are some of the things that they need? And I appreciate that. But to me, it is interest that we have Judas going up against Bioshock 4. That reminds me a lot about Dead Space Callisto going into that. Everyone's like, you got a crab. And Dead Space would suck because Callisto Protocol was done by the original devs of Dead Space. EA made a whole new team for a remake. So that's the thing. There's a dilemma of like, when you're remastering a game, it's a lot easier than making a new game. But if you're also doing like Dead Space 4 versus Callisto Protocol and you're doing a whole new thing, right? You have that nostalgia to back it up. People know Dead Space, they like Dead Space, they grew up with it. And Callisto Protocol is not Dead Space, right? So people have invested themselves in the story of Dead Space. They understand the lore of Dead Space, how the universe in Dead Space works. Callisto Protocol may be similar, but it's not the same. And so this is why you have movies and other media always doing like Star Wars 1, Star Wars 2, Star Wars 3. Oh God, we're going up to 9 because when you take something that's nostalgic, that makes people want to come back to it more. They're used to it, they're familiar with it, they like it, right? They know they like it, they know they're getting more of the same. This is why you have sequels constantly being made, even ran into the ground. And everybody's like, oh, the first one's so good, and the second one's alright, but don't play the third. Bioshock, Bioshock 2, Bioshock Infinite. First one's good, second one is okay, but you don't have to play it. Third one, don't touch it. Don't touch it unless you're getting the DLC for Burial at Sea 1 and 2. Matrix 4. I digress. These are the little girls. Originally, the Gatherers, which are the little sisters, were going to be slugs. They're going to be these little slug things. And they have human teeth. I saw this and I fucking wanted to throw up. Wolf. Hi, Vero. It's been a minute. You missed it. I beat the game, and now I'm in the museum. The Gatherers, which, if you don't know, are the little sisters. It may be hard to imagine that the creature, whose job was to reclaim Adam from corpses around Rapture, this creature was the earliest iteration of the idea behind the little sister. Since the Gatherer generated absolutely no sympathy from players, the team experimented with the concept for featuring a number of animals, including the famous dog in a wheelchair, and later a grotesque miniature humanoid. Finally, a concept of a deformed child inspired a eureka moment responsible for the little sisters. I miss it, but it's too good. And I miss it too, but good job. Yeah, thank you. So they wanted this idea of, they wanted you to feel something about the Gatherers. They wanted you to feel like sympathy for them, and they wanted you to have this oh, I want to save them. But when, as humans do, when you see something that looks like an alien slug with human teeth, you kill it. So they were like, I don't give a shit about this thing. I'm going to fucking kill it, right? So playtesters, when they had this as the Gatherers, and they were given the choice to save them or kill them, they just killed them because there was no sympathy. So when they created the little girls, that eureka moment they mentioned is like, oh, now it's like this innocent girl that had a slug implanted in her, and like she was kidnapped from her family, and then like made and hypnotized and turned into a sleeper cell, and like now has to like, oh, there's an angel, and she refers to corpses as angels, and she has to like, even though I cured all the little girls, and that final little girl that came out was not corrupted, she was still going to those bodies and sucking the Adam out of them, right? She just was willed to do it. She couldn't stop. I say too, if you don't even remember. On some level, I feel bad for the developers at the time. Like, you made a successful IP franchise and never allowed to be done. Move fans will forever demand more. Yeah. And after that, publishers are afraid to give new IPs. Exactly, that's true. That's 100% true. Also, Vero's a sweetheart. Everybody should give him kisses. Just a thought I had. Recycle devs, I want to exit area, keep the money. Yeah, I don't think Bioshock 4 will ever happen because no matter how much the fans what they want, why Valve 7 will make a Half-Life 3? But the Half-Life 3 could always be there. And there's more. There's more than just this. Let's look at this. So these are some of the splicers and also some early concepts for Big Daddies. Early splicer concept. Moving from grotesque to human was a slow process. While the early concepts saw the melee enemies grew monstrous arms, the team had trouble conveying how someone who had spliced to become a marksman would appear. Well, sniper. Early Big Daddy concept. These are the early concepts for Rosie, a Big Daddy who, like the bouncer, was envisioned as a construction worker who had been repurposed as a protector for the Gatherer. Bioshock Galactic. Oh, Jesus. Everything gonna be the Bioshock, or they're gonna be Fuscus. Bioshock Fuscus balls? What the fuck? Ow. Don't Bioshock my balls. Another Big Daddy early concept art. These are early concepts for Rosie type Big Daddy. Yeah, okay, so the same. So this is Rosie, which is a type that was used. There's some more this way. I'd play. Damn. He's got like a little hook arm. Protector concept. The Big Daddies, originally called Protectors, were envisioned as dye-suited construction workers, retest to the defense of Adam Gatherers. They used construction tools for improvised weapons that looked like they had been found on the sea floor. From left to right, these are early concepts for the melee, range, and slow projectile protectors. Bioballs? Is that what we're going to talk about, D, in System Shock 2 when we're playing it together? We're just going to talk about my Bioballs? Yeah, I always say Half-Life game, but it's unlikely generic FPS shooter. Clear won't have like resonant technological leaps in gaming. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. I'm going to come back just to clip Bioshock my balls. I want to hold on to that thought, Vero. When we get into System Shock 2, I'm not gonna scream "fuck me in the ass." I'm gonna scream "Bioshock me in the balls." I don't see the problem. I don't know if I want to be Bioshocked in the balls. That sounds painful. But it's not half a 3. Gotcha. So they have like a gunner, and then they have like the slow shooter. He's got like octopus situations. Crazy. Let's go over here. So these were going to be the spliced up people. These are going to be the spliced up people. They were going to look like this. Some like fucking Resident Evil monsters. Right? And like, they're running around, like, they got their guts out. There was a lot of sea life. Like, this is like a tentacle situation. Like, his guts are tentacles or something. He's missing an arm, but he's got like a gun. Exhibit Stitchy. The first splicer that Irrational created for Bioshock, Stitchy was used in many early concept demos and was fully functional in-game with kinematics, hit reactions, and voiceovers. It took us that long to realize he wasn't a good model, says the lead artist, Sean Robertson. This probably is the worst abortion that Original has ever made. There's never going to be Half-Life 3. Well, that's fine. So, like, the splicers, they wanted people to know that they were human, and they didn't want the splicers to seem like Scooby-Doo monsters. They're going to see that quote a lot, where it's like, these look Scooby-Doo. I think it's right here. So here, it's like, whoa, and he's got like a big arm. Early splicer concept art. These are some of the first concept sketches. Bioshock's enemies moving in a more human direction. Artists coupled the approach to the idea that Adam deformed the body in a way that related to its intended function. For instance, a giant grotesque arm on a melee enemy. Let me have this one. There was a... yeah, that's the same one. Okay. They have this thing. If I had a big arm, be like, whoa. If I had a big arm, you know. They're so big for these IPs. I also have like kind of Star Wars, there's movie on some original ideas. 4,000 years to sell something new. Yeah. These are like some fucking Resident Evil, but these are like some Resident Evil monsters. He's also got juice. He's ready for juice. The pre-Yam Hand. This is Yam Hand. Because he's got like a big Yam Hand. But I think they were trying to go for a human-like, but it looks like a whale or like a fish. Like fin. Guys hated Infinite, and they were very mixed on 2. They were essentially doing Bioshock 1 again. Fans, lazy cop-out. Which fans say, so what did they do? Remaster Bioshock 1. And then do Bioshock, a new Bioshock that looks like the remaster of 1. Yam Hand. Before solidifying the fiction around Adam, Irrational experiment with the idea of being an external injected substance. Here you can see us playing around with Adam being mechanically injected, said Leo or Sean Robertson. So this splicer got its vials off his belt. This model was created but never made into the game in any form. So he has like Adam constantly being injected in him in order to do the thing. Also got them fishy lips. Doing this to develop System Shock clone, you're gonna get different gameplay. They don't even need to move forward, just some Galaxy mainline plot. Yeah. We looked at all that. We got the stuff over here. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. This is the spider splicer. Oh, whoa. Hold on. Wait one darn minute. Some people would be into this, and I am not. Hooker. Created around the same time as Stitchy and the Grenadier. This splicer was dubbed the Hooker because of her choice of weapons. The concept evolved into the Spider Splicer when it's decided that the splicer models could fill any behavior role, and the Hooker model later became the Baby Jane Splicer. I don't like that. Ooh. Oh, the drowning bodies? Oh, that would have been so good. Neptune's Bounty. This area appears to be Neptune's bounty level of Bioshock, but the bodies floating in the ocean were cut when their cast shadows proved to be too distracting from the action in the room. Fuck that! That would have been so cool, because, like, people would have attempted to escape, and then they would have ended up outside in this emergency thing, and they would have been drowned, and then they would have been, like, there. That would have been so cool to have the bodies floating. New Fantastic Four movie? Oh my god. Early environmental study. The location depicted here was built for the Vision demo of Bioshock, a small level demonstrating several of the key elements of the game, such as Big Daddies and Gatherers. This is getting away with it now. People copy them like Apple, different time, or like something like that. That's true. Oh my god, look at this guy. Why does he have, oh, maybe that's injected in him? Bro, like, is a motherfucker tank. Whoa. Grenadier. The Gray Elephantine Splicer was an early grenadier from the same period of Stitchy and Hooker. He was the guy who spliced to carry around giant grenades and throw them at you. The model was built in texture but never animated. There you go. The Bioshock Extended Universe. That's everything here. And then there's the last third. Because this museum, when I checked through, there's the beginning area, the little hanging thing, the middle, and then the back end. And I couldn't find anything else. Look at this. Big Daddy concept art. This is an early concept depicting Big Daddy bursting through a wall, which inspired the audio log in the Big Daddy training grounds area about that rogue Big Daddy. The player then encountered him at the end of the level. Look at that. I want to be a concept artist so bad. Like, I want to, like, be told, okay, we kind of want, like, something like this, and I get to, like, imagine it. Because I love doing art, but I need direction. I need to be told what to do. Okay? That's all I need. If this one. Sub Bay. This is a concept sketch depicting what would later become the submarine bay, an area which housed important cutscene for Atlas. And they have subs. These are different. I think they went with the bathysphere, like the balls. Ooh. Oh, the auditorium. The Fleet Hall concept art. This early concept for Sandra Cohen's Fleet Hall was created after level building had begun. When the designers found they were having difficulty conceptualizing the theater space, it was one of the earliest spaces built for Bioshock, as many of the assets used in this museum, came from that area. Look at that. So that was where the guy was playing on the piano, and then he blew him up, and he had to take a photo of him. Iconic Rapture concepts. This is the first image that really captured the visual elements that made Bioshock, Bioshock. A large view of the ocean, the aquatic lighting scene, the elegant Art Deco elements. Without this image, Bioshock would have been a radically different beast. And yeah, so this is conceptualizing everything. So you have Adam, which there's like a whole thing with like Adam and Eve, and then there's like Atlas, and then there's like a bunch of stuff. And this is like, you have this Art Deco underwater, you have like the city outside, the fish swimming outside, and you have this like blue lighting coming in. Everything's blue, everything's green. I love this. I love this art. And you can see that it was like Atlas holding up the world, and now it's fallen apart into decay, and everything is falling apart as a representation of the world of Rapture is falling apart. It's so good! And they ruined it with Infinite! I was just saying, in business areas, I just really distant stuff from Kevin Leon's Bioshock, like Ricky Morty invented themselves. Yeah, I can see that. But I love this. Like, it's leaking, right? There's water leaking on it. The thing's all thrown around. Like, everything's falling apart. But, like, I really loved it when, like, there was, like, fish in front of, like, the window. Granted, they didn't move really at all. But, like, the idea of, like, they're, like, swimming around in there. And, like, you have that blue lighting. When they had that harsh blue lighting come in, you might have seen it in some of the streams. When you were near a window, you had, like, sunlight, but it was blue. And I was like, oh, it's so good. Oh, like, it's happening kind of right here, but this is a little not as good. This looks like regular lighting. It's just like sun lighting. But when it was like this and it was blue coming out of the window, I was like, oh my god. Fish monsters. It's Yam-Man. He's returned with yams. They look like Scooby-Doo villains, and he was right when I look at this one especially. There you go, chat. All for you. This is what you wanted. This is what you wanted. Blue feet. You want them grippers. I know, you sick fucks. Yamhand. This character was derisively called Yamhand around the Irrational Games. Was the poster child for the conceptual phase that preceded the decision to go with human enemies. I'd point out the drawings behind the model, says lead artist Sean Robertson. You can see the top one got built and the other to inform the design as well. As we trended more towards humanoids, the Scooby monsters got goofier and less scary. So they were trying to do that, and then it split off into like these. And that's why they were like the Scooby reference of it all, where it's like they didn't want these like Scooby-Doo monsters. They just wanted like humans that were a little fucked up. Those things are fucking psychotic. I'm gonna look at that last. Let's look at this dude. This is another one. So here you have like a gunman. Some of this artwork is a little funky. Living in a high-rise domes or something? Yeah. Missing link model. This character is essentially the missing link between the grotesque early designs and then the human splicers that appeared in the game. This is the last bad model we did before moving on to what actually went to shipping in the game, says Sean Robertson. After playing with him for a while, we just said, why don't we use humans instead? I always thought of these as Scooby-Doo monsters because they were too inhuman to invoke empathy. And that's what they were trying to do. Like, this dude looking like a monster from fucking Resident Evil. He's got his heart ripped out or whatever. He's got these giant booby pecs. He's got, like, these fishing waters. Right? And then they were like, okay, we're done with the monstrous stuff. Let's stop doing these sea creature monster things. And let's, like, go into just making these humans with, like, fucked up limbs. Also, Resident Evil monsters. Literally Resident Evil monsters. Waters. Waiters? They're waters, right? Waiters? Water. They're waiters? You call them waiters? Or I thought... Okay, Google. Is it waiters or waters? AI will help us.
The correct spelling for a person who serves food and drinks in a restaurant is waiter, singular, or waiters, plural. Waters refers to a body of water, like oceans or lakes, or can be used as the plural of water.
We'll never know. We'll never know, chat. AI can't figure it out. We'll never... Anyway, what the fuck are these aliens? Early creature. These were some of the earliest pieces done for Bioshock when Rational was still working on SWAT 4. The only concrete idea at that point were Undersea City and biological experimentation. So the early constructs on those themes. So as you can see, like, they basically were doing Resident Evil but under the water. This is the same thing. So they have, like, a frog monster. Literally looking like the fucking hunters in Resident Evil, but with a tentacle arm. And also a bug arm. And then, like, a monkey with little baby hooks. Okay, this is a different one. Early Big Daddy concept art. This is the fourth protector concept, originally created with the organic slug attached to it. A model was started but never completed as the team worked to narrow their focus to 3 and finally just 2 Big Daddy types. The Rosie and then the other one. I forgot what the other one was called. The Bouncer, I think. I still like this as a protector, says artist Rob Waters. We started modeling it, and I really pushed it to get in, even as just a stacked model on the floor, but it never made it. He's like, even if it's just one on the floor and it doesn't do anything, please, please. Slime from slug, blood inside glass ports, tarnished brass. And he's got these weird hooks. Like, what the fuck are these dildo hooks? What are those? But he's got, like, the slug on him. And this is going to be one of the concepts. But the reason why I didn't fucking make it, brother, is because you dropped that slug idea. So you have it. You see that slug that's on him? This is the end of the museum, by the way, if I'm not mistaken. That was one of these fuckers. Hi. Hello. Remember seeing the reveal of Big Daddy in Bioshock on the 360 looks so much like a menacing badass? Yeah. I mean, right here, this is like the design right before the Big Daddy and they swapped the hand. Like, this crazy, like, diving, like, ancient diver suit thing. You don't care for extras, but this is really cool. Yeah, so basically, this is the museum of everything that was not put in the game. I would have liked if they did another area that showed all of the models that did make it into the game. And you could see them up close in good lighting, and you could be like, yeah, they look like crap, but like I can at least see what they look like and see what direction they went in. You have little circles on it, like they have many eyes. Yeah, I mean, well, that's how these diving suits look like that, because they didn't want like an entire glass helmet. Like the idea was like, if you have that, it compromises it, so they're reinforcing it with the metal. All right, but yeah, that's all of the museum. There's really not much else to it as far as I'm aware. It's just this like little room, but I'm happy they put it in. I'm assuming it's only in the remastered. I think it's a really cool idea to showcase like in your video. Like, I like bloopers, right? And these are the equivalent of bloopers. It's what made it into the game, what didn't make it into the game, you know, and you can kind of come in here and be like, this is us learning, developing a new IP. Like, we have this idea, right? And we're fleshing out the thing. We know it's a first-person shooter. We know, like they said, it's an underground thing where they're doing biological experiments. We know that's the concept that we want. Okay, let's run with that. Like, what do we do? How do we take it from there? Right? And I love this aesthetic of, like, you have, like, the sea life outside. You got, like, they do it pretty good here. It's a little bluer here. But that blue lighting coming in. You see, like, the tall skyscrapers underwater. And they, like, fade out of your vision in water. It's so unique. At the time, no one really did anything like this. I think it was just really cool. I just think it's neat. Now, would you prefer a museum experience like this, or would you have a 3D model viewer? The model viewer is fine. Either or. You can create your own little space, but you could also do like the model viewer, which I think is also perfectly fine. It's the same thing as the museum. If you want to do that instead and show like, hey, you beat the game, and here, like, here's all the like the unfinished projects, all the unfinished things, and then you have like, just like they put here, where you could look at the thing and you could read their like notes on it, right? Instead of having like stats about the monster, you could be like, hey, this is the basic zombie from Resident Evil 2 Remake, and like this is what it looks like, and here's all the different versions of it, and like, and here's like the process on how we designed this model and what was our thought process getting here, and that's fine. I did like that in Last of Us Remastered. You model viewer, you could unlock models, points to make it replayability. I don't want the replayability. That's the thing. Oh, there go my hands. I don't want the replayability. I like people. That's what people do. They do the point thing, and then you have to unlock it. But I don't want the replayability. Just give me it all. Just give me all of it. Just let me like see the stuff, right? Okay, good. We got our hands. Because, like, am I gonna replay? Like, okay, I've played Bioshock 1 twice, so I technically have replayed this game. Am I going to replay Bioshock for a third time just to go through and, like, not kill that one guy, let him get to his place, kill him there, take a photo of him. Like, am I gonna do it again? Am I gonna play the whole game again, or even start from the halfway point and do the... Am I gonna go through and collect all the logs? Not really. I don't think I want to, like, do that. I want to, like, experience it. What I experience is what I experience. And if I, like, want to understand, like, the lore of it all... Now, at this time, YouTube was kind of early, but like if I want to do that, like I'll go watch someone who's like a turbo fucking nerd and like went through and completed the game and found every audio log and categorized them all out, and then did like a whole like 2-hour movie describing the lore of Bioshock and like how things got to where they are and what was the stuff like and how was society like and what happened using Bioshock 2, fuck Infinite, but keep the DLC. Burial at sea, right? And like the concept of that is like that someone on YouTube will describe to you everything, and then also someone on YouTube will just put up all of the audio logs in the order that you would probably find them. So like I could honestly do that, and if I really wanted to go through, the replayability is not necessarily there unless you want to do like a challenge mode of, you know, like never upgrading your HP, never healing, using only wrench. I played Bioshock 1 twice, played Bioshock 2 once, and the remaster. I played Infinite and DLCs across 3 different platforms. For 1,000 hours combined, I can tell you how many actual runs, because so many half starts or restarts you do so runs. That's funny. So before I end, let me check. I am very upset that I missed stuff. And this is like the replayability they added. I don't like this. I don't like that I can't see these, right? I want to see Making Rapture real so bad. But I explored every nook and cranny. We're not going back. Like, I can't get this. So, like, I guess I can do, like, a world of themes, and that's close. Because I like, want to know about the world, right?
Is overflowing with horrible locations and set pieces. In developing a world that feels organic, lived in, and functional, a rational...
So I can just find this on YouTube.
...that feels perfectly suited to the story and action that takes place in it, which begs a question, did the plot shape the location, or did the plot fit squarely into a world that was already established?
How long are these? Yeah, when you buy a remaster, yeah. Jeff Keighley? How long is this?
Some of the areas
oh!
It's an amazing place, but also it feels like...
I feel like this was already recorded if they're doing something like this.
Aesthetic and the characters in there, it all kind of comes together. Ken, do you have a part of Rapture that resonates most with you still to this day?
The Doritos Pope himself, Ken Levine. Uh-oh.
Because it's we spent a lot. It was all for me as a challenge as a narrative guy is sort of a very complex series of events and a very complex notion and all this, you know, Andrew, with so much to tell, big daddies and little sisters and.
But yeah, so like these should be unlocked.
Do that all.
No gods or kings, only man. Hell yeah.
I think the descent to Rapture when you're
either in a root in your game. Yeah, fuck him.
You know, getting that right, getting everything right down to the, you know, the fact that you're cresting the hill and seeing the city for the first time. Remember how much we worked on the timing of that? Just
yeah, well, that's important.
To figure out that we should just put the slide projector covering.
No gods, kings, only Tychus. Okay. Well, this is like. This is like a thing that I can probably find on YouTube.
Reveal.
So like this is like a whole video, so we can actually let's do this for the sake of not worry about that. We beat Bioshock. This is bugging out, so I'm going to run my ad really quick. I'm going to fix my VTuber stuff because it's all broken now. I'm just gonna oh wait, no, I think it fixed. No, it isn't fixed. Bioshock breaks my VTuber. So I'm going to run my ad. I'm going to swap to Little Tychus, and then we'll be back in 3 minutes, and then we can see if we can find some of the developer commentaries on YouTube. me do that right now. Bioshock Remaster developer commentary. They're all here, and they're all on a playlist. And Making Rapture Real is 12 minutes. I don't know if I want to watch it, but I think I'll open it up and skip through it a little bit. But let me reset my VTuber thing because it's broken. I need to fix it, and then we'll do it. So I'll see all of you in 3 minutes, okay? Give me 3 minutes, okay? Okay, I'm gonna close all these. These are all like they messed with the resolution of these things. Whoop whoop whoop. I can uninstall this game while I'm at it. Don't need you anymore. Uninstall. Boop. And then the Steam can be a little borked. That's fine. And I gotta relaunch the VTuber. Zed, can you hear me? Can you hear me in the ether, Zed? Zed! Okay, so my naming conventions for like the avatars, they're all like my name mixed with like the model's name. So Ty Dum and Fuskus combined is Tychus. That's the nickname. They're little nicknames. Hey, you want Tychus? Boop-a-doop, boop-a-doop. When is Cool Dog Kiss? Maybe. Maybe. Big maybe. Why is this permanently resolution down? Okay, there we go. Now it's max res. Yes. Yes. I'm kind of happy I don't have to play Bioshock anymore because, my god dog diggity damn. They were like, let me load in, loading. I'm back at full resolution.
I'm Jeff Keighley here in Boston.
Stop. I gotta lower the volume of this. It's gonna blow everybody's fucking eardrums out. We might do, are we gonna do a fucking watch party? Are we gonna do a react? I'll probably skip around. I don't think I'll do the whole video. Again, maybe. It depends, bro. It depends. Don't worry about it. Just worry about the cum men. The cum men are sneaking in, bro. They're right behind you. They're hiding in the closet, bro. Again, Killing Mind is brilliant. He was responsible for the original one. Had nothing to do with 2. He really screwed it with Bioshock Infinite's development timeline. He went full siege jobs yelling at people, working 20 hours a day and wanting to get it worked. Don't worry, bro. I'll protect you. I'll protect you from the cum men. Yeah, I'll agree. So, like, the thing is, like, there are people that are bad, but you can understand or like certain things that they like, and that's not wrong. Right? Like you can appreciate some of the situation, and you can appreciate like some of the themes that they went with, and like Bioshock 1 was truly amazing and really fun in everything that it did. So all of them are here. Thank you, Demon ODUA. Thank you, Russia, and or maybe something that speaks Russia. This guy is probably a genius coming up with the concept that's so different from any other game lore. If only he worked together with the Dark Souls creator. What the fuck? So thank you, Russian man. I speak Russia. Can you translate this? Or should I put it into Google Translate? But I think it'd be fun if I interact with you guys.
First try my ass.
No! Wolves raided my stream with
Let me
41 viewers.
enlarge, zoom, enhance. Wolves, no! No! I'm gonna be ending the stream soon. I beat the game. But thank you. And you're gonna get a clip. Check it out. Sorry, you're gonna get a clip shout out. Because I know you're cool with it.
So cute!
Wolf _mage _1011 is now following.
We're getting someone who knows how to speak Russian to
I
translate
don't
this.
think I've ever heard of it.
Why the fuck are you on the Blues Clues couch?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh my gosh, yes, let's go. Who's your favorite?
The red one.
Oh, Raphael. Oh my gosh, yes.
Red
Oh,
green.
Raphael is my
Someone's
favorite.
really stimming off of TMT.
I love the bad boys.
That couch was a gift.
I think in terms of
Why not be on? True, why not be on it? Go check out Not Safe for Wolves. They stream a variety of games and they're really fun. And they go, "Arr!" They do that a lot. They go, "Arr!" I don't know why they do it, but they do it. Probably because they're a doggy. Coda Wolf was the one. Oh, I'll have to talk him out about that. Wolf's how he's like, "Arr!" That's what he does. Are you able to translate it, or should I put it in the Google Translate? I want to see what this person wrote. I don't know how to speak Russian. I look up a word. What? Okay. Is he doggy? He is. If you don't know who I am, while we're getting this Russian translated, we'll post episodes as I play. Oh, that's what it says? Interesting. If you don't know who I am, my name is Fuscus. I play a variety of games. We just beat Bioshock 1 Remastered, and they had developer commentaries that you can unlock. And I was like, I'm not replaying the game to unlock it. I really want to just see Making Rapture real. And so I figured we'd watch it a little bit, skip around a little bit, and see what they were talking about, because I'm really interested in the lore of, like, the game and like the city and the setting itself more so than anything. I have a YouTube. I've uploaded a video to YouTube as I usually do on Fridays, and it's the Silent Hill 2 remastered playthrough. So if you want to see me play Silent Hill 2, go to YouTube and you can watch it there. There's a lot there. Go watch it. Go subscribe to my YouTube. Do it. Like, comment, subscribe. When this video eventually goes on the YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Do it. I told you to do it, so do it. That's what you gotta do, right? Anyway, so I kind of wanted to go, I just want to see a little bit of this now everybody's back. We'll watch this, and then on the hour, I'll kind of like end, and I'll find someone to raid out with. But Wolves, thank you so much for the raid. I really do appreciate it. I know I usually go for about an hour more, but I was like, I beat the game in like 40 minutes. Let me go through this museum, and then let me look at like these things. You were cute? Thank you. I was like, let me look at these things. And let me take a peek and see what these are. And like, I only had a couple of them unlocked. And I searched every nook and cranny, and I only got 4 of them, which is towards the end. So I was not living for the fact that I didn't get the one that I wanted the most, which is the first one. But let's take a look, and then hope YouTube doesn't go, well, this is copyright. I'm like, I'm transforming this media by commenting and pausing.
Jeff Keighley here in Boston.
It's Jeff Keighley.
Behind the scenes to hear some.
Who's Jeff Keighley? Okay, Google. Who is Jeff Keighley?
Norman Jeffrey Jeff Healey, March 25th, 1966 to March 2nd, 2008, was a Canadian blues, rock, and jazz guitarist, singer, and songwriter. He gained popularity in the 1980s and 1990s. He was blind from early childhood due to retinoblast.
Guys, we'll never know. We'll never know who Jeff Keighley is. We'll never know. We won't know. We won't know. We won't know.
Told stories about the making of.
But he seems important.
Bioshock with Ken Levine and Sean Robertson.
Okay, so Ken Levine is the crazy one, and Sean Robertson. He's the artist. Yes! Underwater! Underwater!
Let's talk a bit about the theme and setting of Bioshock Rapture. I think a lot of people, when they played the game for the first time, they wondered, how did you even dream up this place? And
yeah, I want to know how he dreamed it up too.
I know you've said publicly before that part of the reason you what led you to Rapture was this idea of fully simulating a place. Tell us.
Jeff Keighley is the guy that started Summer Games Fest, and okay, yeah, I knew he was important. It's cool, dude. Yeah, I knew he was important in the gaming industry. That's why when I asked Google AI that forces stuff on my fucking phone, when I asked it, it was like, he's a jazz musician. I was like, I don't think that's right.
About that sort of idea and the frustrations you had with other games where you sort of hit a bound.
I think our philosophy was always to
creative director of System Shock 2. We're gonna be playing that
rather than try to do something big.
This came out. This video actively shaking Fuscus. Also, Vero, hit me up in the DMs because I don't know when next D&D is. I can't spell his name the same way. So, this video was made when Bioshock Infinite at least was released, or like in the talks of them, because it's mentioned here. As you can see, it's mentioned here.
And do it 50% or 40%. So one of the ideas of, and this sort of came from System Shock 2 as well, where you focus on an area that you can really bring to life and you kind of eliminate the question.
His eyes are really close together.
Well, why can't I go over the bridge to New Jersey? So we were able to really make a place, I think, that felt believable and real, even though in actuality it was really quite limited. But we just sort of dressed it.
I hate that area. That fucked me up.
That we're all, we're all basically glorified fakes. Let the story drive what we needed to show rather than some kind of like predetermined map which we sat down, which is a little different than like System Shock 2, where we actually...
Okay, I don't know what the predetermined map is. So the setting is like very real. The idea behind it is it feels like it's something that could happen. It feels like you could build a city underwater and like have it function like this, even though it's really fantastical. And I think that believability is really important, and the fact that it feels like it's something that could happen really added to the story. Kind of like how Fallout is like, no, this is believable, like this could happen. Nuclear fallout would fuck everything up like this, and people would be like coming out of these vaults and they'd just be like, all right, gotta survive, and they're just scrapping things together. Like, it feels believable, and I think that's very important. It was heavily researched back in the day, reading blogs, times, details why there's no Bioshock 4. Oh, okay. I found this incredibly interesting. Yeah.
Actually mapped a spaceship out deck by deck. Yeah. Because I don't know what the philosophy felt a little different there, because you want to feel like a real spaceship that was sort of stacked on top of each other. Rapture was free to sprawl.
So with System Shock 2, because he worked on 2, but 1 as well, you're on a ship and it's like, he's saying it's stacked up, but in Rapture, you can come out and you can kind of do whatever you want and build wherever you want. And I think he's trying to say that that's more freeing, and that it allows him to be more creative, because the spaceship, it's like you kind of are compact. You have to maintain like these boundaries. A nuclear fallout is not really a problem. You think it doesn't really exist anymore. Today's nukes are so big that there'll be nothing left. Shockwave, killer, fallout. But what I'm saying is, in Fallout, the nuclear fallout is still a thing. If you were trapped in a bomb shelter that was designed to resist them, and then you opened up the vault and you left, you would have to deal with all the radiation, and you would be scrapping these things together. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's realistic.
Across the ocean.
And also, Fallout takes place in, like, the 1950s or whatever the fuck. Like, I don't want to set the world on, that fucking song. Like, whatever era that song is from, that's Fallout. So, fuck 2000s nukes. Fuck millennial nukes. We are talking about, like, the first atom bombs built. So we're talking Oppenheimer, like, yeah. Retro future 40s, yeah. So, like, they wouldn't have the nukes that we have today. So what I'm saying is, the bombs were dropped in the 1940s, and then you're in there for, like, hundreds of years. You wake up out of cryo sleep, and you have to deal with the fallout. What I'm saying is, it's realistic in the sense of, if you were surviving underneath there and you came out, you would have to deal with these things. Bomb children designed by the 60s. Thermonuclear missile. In a world in which someone created these fallout shelters specifically designed to resist it, and they worked, they would have to deal with the fallout, radiation, and surviving. And what I'm saying is it makes it believable. It is believable to have these super deep underground bunkers resist nuclear shock waves and fallout. And you can come back out after cryo sleep and be like, oh, fuck. I'm using it as an example. It is believable. That's the point I'm trying to make. And then they don't strike those because fishing more strikes. Yes.
Although you guys originally, John, were talking about doing this game on a...
It was the most explosive munition?
Again, right?
Yes.
Yeah, when we first started talking about
animation lead,
successor to
director of Bioshock and Infinite.
Spaceship came up, but again, we wanted a limited environment, and we didn't necessarily want to do Spaceship again. And our first...
So they didn't want to do the Spaceship again. Good. Because you've done Spaceship game 2 times before, and I guess they were like, are we going to make a System Shock 3? And it's going to be in space again? Like, maybe that's what they were thinking. They're saying they want an environment that's limiting. And something that's really important when it comes to art is limitation. Art is created through limitations. You put limitations on yourself to be able to work within those bounds to make something beautiful. The perfect example of this is chiptune music. You were limited in what the Game Boy could, produce. The Game Boy could not produce the same sound range as other speakers. So you were limited in what types of noises you could use. And so the people that made chiptune music for video games had to work within those confines of, this is the instrument given to me, these are the limitations I have, I need to make something with it. And they did. And you get shit like fucking DuckTales, the moon level in DuckTales, where you're like, this is so fucking great. Art needs limitation. If you have no limitation, then you are free to kind of create whatever, and then it's boring. But if you are limited, it's interesting. And that's what's good about art. Technical use are more useful. Now we're just going on about nukes. I should remind me never to mention Fallout ever again. That's a good point. Yes. So when they were designing the spaceships in System Shock, you're limited because you're in space. So you have a spaceship design, you're limited. In here, you're limited of okay, well, we have to design these underwater sea labs basically. And that was their limitation. So it wasn't like they had everything available to them. They had to work within the confines of, you are underwater, you are in these tubes, you're in these buildings, these bunkers underwater, and you have to travel between these realms with these submarines.
Actual exploration of this space was underwater, but ultimately ended up looking like a spaceship. It just happened to have a couple of seaweed fronds outside. And that started to push us towards what artistic statement that we wanted to make this look different, and what rules we were going to set for the world. How at every turn we were going to try to remind the player that they were in fact underwater and that this wasn't a spaceship.
So when they first did it, they didn't have enough windows. Also, here's the blue lighting I was talking about. Oh my god. So they wanted as many windows as possible to remind you that you're underwater, because at first it just felt like, as I said, you're in a spaceship. And then when they remind you it was like that. They also, probably will get into it, they talk about or they probably will talk about this idea of we wanted a city, not a spaceship. So they were like, we need a farm, and we need air, and we need this, and we need that, and we need these shops and these stores. On a spaceship, right? You're not gonna have a music shop in a spaceship. You're not gonna have a dance hall on a spaceship. A spaceship is merely meant for traveling, and it's only gonna really have the essentials. And it's not gonna be a lived-in place. It's gonna be a means to an end, if that makes any sense. How grounded video games should be, doesn't feel too close to home, and why it begins to spin. Yes, exactly.
Underwater, we obviously know you did underwater, then sitting in the sky. Where did you come with the idea of doing this underwater?
I think there was probably a conversation. It's what kind of places could be cut off from other places?
Yeah.
Right. So the idea was, the whole theme of Andrew Ryan right? Like the whole theme of him, his name, what's his name, Andrew Ryan? I've already forgotten. I'm bad with names. I'm gonna call him Andrew Ryan. I know it's Ryan. The theming was like, the whole theme was to escape God and to escape government. Well, no matter where you go in the 1940s, 1950s, whenever the fuck, I think it's 1940s the game takes place, like, religion is incredibly prominent and government is also incredibly prominent. And if you try and build a city like in America, well, now you have to deal with American laws. He didn't want to deal with that. So this man had the idea of like, build it underwater. It's international waters, they can't do shit. It's international. So we can create effectively Atlantis, and we now created our own thing that we do not bow down to any government. We don't bow down to any religion. We bow down to ourselves, right? And that was the theme they heavily pushed, like the sweat of your own brow, you know, a man creates, a slave obeys, like, you know, like all these like themes that they are constantly drilling into you, which are the ideals of Andrew Ryan when he was making this town. So like, what's more believable, a giant floating city in the sky off air balloons, or a city that was built underwater? City that was built underwater, because we have submarines, we have the technology like that, and traveling from areas would just be like getting into submarines and stuff. And so we can create air pressure, you know, areas and like normalize things, and then we can make like farms underwater. Like it makes sense. Air balloons are a little bit wonkier because like, so what happens if you need to like repair an air balloon? Considering the nature of the franchise universe, I find both equally believable. Maybe. But the first one was underwater. Somewhat more interested in the future Bioshock than our old one. Space elevator? Space, not I don't know. I want a Bioshock. I mean, like, they did it with Burial at Sea. A Bioshock before would be interesting, but I think it wouldn't hold up because people want the monsters and want the horror of it all. So like walking around Bioshock and it's walking around Rapture in its heyday before it fell apart, and like walking around like cruising the streets and like, you know, dealing with mobsters and gangsters or something, and like figuring out what happened to little girls or whatever. Like, again, they already touched on it in the Burial at Sea, but like going into like doing a prequel of like, this is what it was like in its heyday, right? Because, like, you could argue doing, like, an RE2, RE3, where, like, you have RE2 happening, and then at the same time, RE3 is happening. They're just in different parts of Raccoon City, and they never really interact, right? So, like, Jill Valentine never really encounters Leon. Jill Valentine is currently dealing with Nemesis in all of the other city, while Leon is dealing with, you know, all the stuff happening at the police station. And then he gets into the underground base, and then she gets into the police station and does stuff there, right? Think about how you make a new game then. It's kind of a one and done. Well, do you need to make more Bioshocks after 4? And as I said, like, going in, you could also do like a, hey, while the one guy is doing his stuff, you're dealing with Rapture money. It's always money, right? You're dealing with Rapture over here in this other place, and then like you'll see the remnants of Bioshock 1 happen, and certain key events will happen. And you'll be like seeing the aftermath of it, of the main character in that game, who is nameless as far as I'm aware. So the main character in that one, the character that you play, like, you might see some stuff that he left behind. Maybe you do something like that. Because I do not know when Bioshock 2 takes place. I don't know if Bioshock 2 is it happens right before 1, and then that Big Daddy does his thing, and then like the guy shows up. If they could, they would turn Bioshock into some live service Helldivers thing. Be all of our hatred. Well, don't throw Helldivers under the bridge. Helldivers is great, but yell at it with fucking Konami and is it Konami? Yell at it with fucking what they did to Metal Gear. Don't use Helldivers. No. Go to Metal Gear. They turn Metal Gear into like a fucking thing people hated, that live service bullshit. I could, that would be kind of a cool idea. It's like you can make like a hero shooter or whatever. You can make like a shooter that's like themed in there, and like you play as the splicers and you get like those splicers abilities. So like it'd be a cool thing. We're in a system where letting something end with dignity is just not an option. True. Oh my god, that's so true. Like, the story is finished, right? I mean, Bioshock 1, the story is finished. You go in, you do the good guy thing, you rescue all the little girls, and then you leave. But then they're like, here's 2 and here's Infinite, and Infinite relates to 1. It is okay when something's over and you can do something new. I agree.
Like, well, yeah.
But I want more Bioshock. Listen, I'm in this universe. Give me more Bioshock.
Spaceship, summer camp, any island notion, right? Something that's cut off from the rest of the world. Yeah. So you never felt like you should be able to go over that bridge to New Jersey.
I don't want to apply some deep and meaningful conversation. I think it was one of those ideas that you just kind of say, and then everybody's, that sounds cool. Let's try that. Let's go for it.
And I think it lended itself to having very nice views out the window.
Yes.
An insane amount of
yes.
By today's standards, we still were a small team back then.
I want more. Is what TTRPG is for. Oh, that's true.
The view distances are going to be short, so you can really kind of fade out into the fog.
And so, yeah, you're underwater, so you can only see so far in the water. So that's like the Silent Hill 1, Silent Hill 2 original, like, yeah, the PlayStation can only do so much. So like, everything's white, and we created this fog that blends into the white, and it, like, loads in the map when it reaches a certain point. And so you're really only seeing, like, you're really only loading, like, the stuff that's directly around you. And then it's just a fog with a white-gray skybox, and that's what's ahead. And it makes it look like this thick, dense fog that you can't see through. And again, art is created through limitations. The PlayStation's graphical capacity could only hold so much. What did they do? Gray-white skybox, layer of fog, only load the parts of the map that are like directly in front or around the character, because then you don't have to load the entire map. You only have to load what's around, and the PlayStation can handle that. Limitations create art. How many people have you heard said, oh, I like the original Silent Hill more than like the remaster one? Not the remake of 2. When they went back and did like the upgraded remaster, when they did the upgraded remaster one, that was like the same game, but just like texturally upgraded, they went through and they made it, because you're on like the PlayStation 4 or whatever the fuck, they made it so that you could load the entire map. But when you could load the entire map, the fog wasn't as thick anymore, and you never felt secluded, you never felt enveloped by the fog, because you could see through it, because it didn't have that white skybox in the background. So many people said like they liked the like uncomfortable ability of like being all congested in the fog, and they got rid of it when they allowed you to load the entire map. I don't hate anyone for making a living. Yeah, that's true. I agree. I don't want to see another Fast and Furious movie, but someone rolls in. I can't hate a player for playing the game. True. So that's another example of art creates limitations, and that like this is like a thing. Like again in Silent Hill with like the fog and like how thick it was. It was only thick because you didn't load the map. The map was invisible. And so you saw the gray skybox with the gray fog, and it made it look like thick fog. But then they loaded the entire map for you in the remake, or not the remake, the remaster of like 1. When they did the remaster of 1 or whatever, they loaded the map, and now the fog wasn't thick anymore because you could see everything down the highway. To make these safe bet sequels, yes. Yes. You're saying things I all know, yes.
At a short distance and not have the expectation that why can't I see forever?
So this is something that he's talking about here, the same thing, draw distance. So why can't I see forever? Oh, I can't see forever because I'm underwater and it's going to get bluer and bluer as we look out. So as I'm seeing the tall buildings, they fade in the blue and you can't see anymore because your eyes can only naturally see underwater so far. So now your disbelief is suspended. You're not worried about draw distance or how much of the map is actually loaded in. You're only worried about, oh, this makes sense. So when you see those tall skyscraper buildings, they go up and they fade in the blue and then they're cut off. They're completely cut off and open. Like, they don't go up to infinity. They don't go up to a point that makes sense. They go up right till they fade out of blue and then they're cut off. Save by game funding is safe? Yeah.
There's a lot of limitations in a good way that we put on ourselves by being underwater, as opposed to, like, if you're on a cruise ship, then you'd expect to see across the water and we'd have to deal with that. Same thing with an island.
Or
and
a city in the sky.
Yeah.
So if you're on an island, you have to deal with the skybox and having like all that in there. In this case, the skybox is just blue-green and it's all like blended, so it's easy to do. If you're on a boat and it was like a boat city, that was like this big, Titanic ship that people lived on. It's the same concept.
So big dummy dum
and then you also have to like look out into the distance. I'm a big dummy dum dum.
Exactly.
Hi, Spartan.
It's a lot more complicated.
Yeah. So you came up with the idea of let's do this underwater, let's do this sort of isolated place.
Yeah.
Then you had to answer the question of, why would someone build this? Is that sort of how it worked, sort of order of
Well, he
operations?
built it to escape those things in the progress.
I think we wanted a very believable reason why they'd be there, and sort of the necessary isolation of the place sort of led to, well, what kind of person would want to do this? And
a crazy
I wasn't
man.
even particularly aware of the sort of political implications of what I was reading, but I've been reading. I had read The Fountainhead.
Right.
The Fountainhead.
And I mostly thought it was an interesting story. Like, I didn't realize that people were sort of basing their sort of political lives around it. Because
what is Fountainhead about?
To that stuff at that point, and so, but I
Big games every year, like a lot of games don't realize there are over 1,000 games released every year. That's crazy.
You see a video game character speaking with that kind of certainty and that kind of confident philosophy.
He's like really in it.
Natural.
Same with movies too. Yeah.
To apply to this place, and so it just sort of all came together as a sort of who is the guy who would do this? Well, that character. It was sort of this amalgamation of characters from Ayn Rand's books and Ayn Rand herself. This sort of idealistic person who says, well, the only way to do this is to separate from the rest of the world. And that led to...
Right. I do realize that I fully recognize I don't give support. It's good, but fundamentally hinder the small and not funded in advertisements, so much attention should give my reviewer player, which is another problem. Yes.
Andrew Ryan.
Yeah, Andrew Ryan. So... he based Andrew Ryan off this person who was like, we need to do these things, and the only way to do it is to segregate ourselves from society because society is holding us back.
I am Andrew Ryan.
Yeah.
And I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the
sweat of his brow? This is the video that you see at the beginning.
Says the man in Washington, it belongs to the poor. No, says the man in the Vatican, it belongs
to God.
No, says the man in Moscow, it belongs to everyone.
That's probably... so I forgot about that part. That's probably why that theater had Russian, because they were probably trying to escape communism. And they were like, yo, I don't want to deal with communism. It's kind of bad over here in 1940s Russia. True Hype der Liebe. So we're fucking waiting projects to showcase them. Yeah. So that's probably why they had that like Russian there, because there was probably a huge influx of Russians. Because it makes sense.
From a technical standpoint, that we wanted isolation. We also knew to sell it, we needed a compelling storyline, a backstory that
Right.
why would this place exist? Otherwise,
Yeah.
how are we going to make Rapture feel like it's lived in if we don't have the reason
Someone
for
has
it
their
to be
phone
there?
on.
So once we decided on the underwater location and then the closed off spaces, that objectivist story kind of came in and made the art stronger and made the level design stronger because we could feed back.
Yeah, it all
into
bounced
that
back
loop.
and forth.
I think that's why we had to have sort of Andrew Ryan's pitch right at the beginning of the game. We
Right.
want people to understand why somebody would go there. And so he makes this very personal one-to-one pitch to the gamer, but also that was the pitch you make to people.
When you enter Rapture through the lighthouse, which is the only way to really get into Rapture, he gives you some propaganda, basically. And he's like telling you, like, the sweat of your brow, like, do you want to escape religion, escape government, escape communism, escape this, escape that? Like, you would come down here and make a living on yourself, and it's all yours, right?
Which was, there's
kind of like the early America,
free of all
like early America is a similar
not
vibe.
be sort of put upon by the government and not be afraid of nuclear war and not be afraid of all these other things that will plague you on the surface. We wanted that pitch to sort of resonate and make sense because that's otherwise by the time you got there you'd be like, well, this place is just fantasy, nobody would ever come here. And that the beauty of the place also was also tied into that. It had to be a very attractive proposition, or people who would believe that people would go leave their lives and go to the bottom of the ocean.
I'm sure in some ways you had to convince the team and enroll them in your sort of vision.
I don't know about EGS and play stuff anymore. I'm just observing what I've seen.
How did that work, Sean? I mean, did Ken come in and say, hey, I've been reading these books, and I think we could sort of...
I believe he just came in one day on a horse and said, and ran, everybody read The Fountainhead.
Exactly. I bought 30 copies of
Yeah, I think,
here's a 2,000-page book or something.
Yeah.
Go read it.
I mean, really, it was more organic. Like I said, we knew that we had this location, and you struggle to fill it with stories, and you struggle to find meaning of why does this place exist? What's my motivation? And as Ken started to explore Ayn Rand a little more and started talking to
Love the
us
artwork.
about it, and we were having that conversation, and it's like, oh, this could totally work. Like, this is exciting. Like, this is something that really hasn't been done in a video game before. And if we had flipped it and come up with the idea first before the location, I don't think we would have really been that excited about it. But we had a location, and now we're trying to fill it with that story. And because of the order of operation there, you start to get excited, like, oh, I could totally make this work. This is going to really make it feel like a lived-in space.
As you think of sort of the setting, and you think of maybe a character or something, was there a moment that you think back, it's like, oh, like right then and there, like I got excited when you attached the Ayn Rand
For me,
stuff
it was
to
it was going to Rockefeller Center and seeing the visual. I told this story before, but my wife and I were in New York.
Replace capitalism by video games. What is happening in my chat? Oh my gosh. I was like, okay. We're here now. This is that's fine. We're almost done the video.
We went to Rockefeller Center, which was, if you go to Rockefeller Center, it basically looks exactly like Rapture. It's every building, you're sort of encircled. It's this block in New York, or a couple of blocks in New York, where Radio City Music Hall is, and where 30 Rockefeller Plazas.
Right. Okay, we can skip that.
And the ice skating rink.
Skip around.
And my wife
because I'm getting
were
hot.
there, and we were sort of working on the game.
It's being active, heavy development. It is. Finally, my chat is active. Oh my god.
And I said, oh, this could be a visual for the game. Also, the geometry of it was actually quite conducive to making a video game because it wasn't overly complicated geometry.
It's very simple shapes, not overcomplicated geometry, and it's Art Deco, super, he's saying the Rockefeller. I've never been to the Rockefeller, but he's saying he got inspired for that. And I like that he's getting inspired by real world things and implementing it, because it makes the game feel more real. It makes the story more believable.
The Art Deco is quite
old and simple.
Old and geometric, yeah.
Old and geometric.
And so my wife and I bought a couple of tourist cameras before iPhone cameras,
And then took pictures of the Rockefeller. Hold on, I want to see this.
Stack of photos. I'll see you guys in a couple years. Go make this.
So this is the opening. Look how beautiful it is.
By petty morality, where the great would not be constrained by the small, and with the sweat of your brow, Rapture can become your city as well.
So you had kind of a theme. You came up with an art style.
Different advertising
some of the
areas of battle tools. Yeah,
characters.
they
and
are.
then, you really had to build the narrative around it. And you've talked about, a lot of the themes in the game and, greed, jealousy, sex,
Right.
violence, all the things
Yeah.
that sort of, drive us or what destroy us. And that was something I think that, as you thought about the story of the game, you wanted to, I'm sure, reflect some of those, right? Because I think people love the characters. It's sort of flawed in a way, and this is a world which is its own little microcosm, but had a lot of tension inside of it.
Yeah, I mean, the character of Ryan was sort of, he's basically invisible through most of the game, right?
Yeah, you only see him through talking and
present because
then right at the
the
end.
city is him, right? It's such a representation of him. We never want to cut
Right.
away to a cutscene where you saw Andrew Ryan, planning and scheming.
And that was really good. They wanted you to get this idea that he is the city. He created it and is a part of him as he is a part of it. And you see him through these televised screens, and he's never there. He's in his own little bunker, which also makes sense. But he kind of controls everything, and had controlled everything where he put poison gas in and did all this. So the idea that they want to permit that he is the city.
We wanted him to be very present without actually being present. But once you had Ryan, once you had his desire to protect this vision of his,
right?
You just had to then come up with the characters who'd be arrayed in opposition to him. So we
Right.
had this character, the Big Daddy, and then eventually the character of the Little Sister. And so characters like Tenenbaum came along. Here's a person who's in opposition to him for this reason. And then you have,
right.
For more noble reasons. And then you have a character like Atlas, who's much more cynical opposition. Once we had all those characters arrayed,
So now that they've created the city, they had the politics involved with the city, and they had this underwater bunker situation. They had that there. They're like, well, we need conflict. Every story needs some sort of conflict. So you have this doctor who worked on creating Adam from these slugs. That's Suit Chong, who then was like, oh, we need to harvest it with this, and we got these little girls. And Tenenbaum was the orphanage girl. So she was taking care of these things and helping create them, and now she has remorse and regret for doing that, and she wants to make it better, which is why she gives you the Adam cocktail to be able to cure them of their thing. If you want to, you can just use that ability. Instead of harvesting them, you can save them, right? And so she wants to save all of them, and then the other guy, Atlas, wants to take over the city. He wants it for himself, right? So he's like, I got to remove him from it.
Well, who are you? And you ended up being a sort of a pawn in the middle of all this opposition to Ryan. We just kept sort of homing in on that theme and making sure that you weren't, eventually figuring out that you couldn't just be here by an accident.
You were here on purpose.
An integral part of this story, even though you don't know you're an integral part of this story. You think you're just there by happenstance.
Look, Mr. Bubble.
So you land here and it feels like it's happenstance, but then you start getting the would you kindlies, and then at the end, the big climax, Andrew Ryan's would you kindly do this, do that, do this, and you start doing it, and you're not controlling it, you just do it. And then it's to show you that you were actually born there, and that you were the mind control subject, and you probably also were the one that killed your own dog. And yeah, I'm down for. I agree, Vero, for sure on that. I mean Doom good, but also System Shock 2 $30, but also Marvel Rivals free.
It's an angel.
I got something in my eye.
I can see light coming from his belly. Wait a minute. He's still breathing. It's all right. I know he'll be an angel soon.
So they only do it to dead people. Interesting. And there you go. Oh, okay, we can end that there. Woo. So yeah, I just want to look. I want to see one of them, and that was the one I was the most interested in seeing. But yeah, go. They're all on YouTube. You can look them up yourself. You can look all of them up yourself. You can go watch all of them. Don't play the game and sit there and try and like get them all unlocked, or actually buy the game and play the game and just play the game, have fun, and watch the commentary afterwards. Because I think that if you're interested in like the lore and the story and stuff, if you're interested in that, I think you'd be interested in that. I want to raid Fluffy Boy. You're pissing me off. We don't even deal with that. Bye-bye. I don't even... First time chatter that's ever going to interact. Okay, you can come hit me up when you're calmed down. That's going to be it for me today. We're going to raid to my friend Fluffy. I would raid Makarza. Makarza's probably going to end soon. Usually go for a little bit longer. Makarza usually ends about the time that I start. Not a problem. I really appreciate you all going here. I hope you all had fun with Bioshock. The game is currently on sale for like $5 or whatever on Steam. If you liked what you saw here, I mean, it's a little spoiled. If you want to kind of play it for yourself and experience for yourself, I highly recommend it. It is a game that is good and worth experiencing. And again, if you're not super interested, then you can, if you just want to look up YouTube videos, they have the developer's commentary all there. So you can like go watch the developer's commentary and you can go see all that stuff there. And then you can get the lore, and you don't have to play the game if you don't want to, because it is a little old, it's a little clunky. There's a little bit of, there. But I think it is overall very good to experience. And hopefully the cum men don't come and get you, bro. We're great Fluffy, because he'll probably be going for a while. It's Friday night. I would do Makarza, but that might be a problem. Because he might be ending soon. I feel like Makarza might end. There he is. But it was on Final Fantasy IX, and I don't remember which one that is. That should be 9. Yeah, it's 9. Oh, 9 is my favorite, rating him. 9 is my favorite. Thank God I took those Latin lessons when I was in high school and shit, and I understand Roman numerals. But yeah, thank you all for joining. I really appreciate it. Please go check out all my other social platform situation, whatever the fucks. I upload videos to YouTube every Friday, and you can see there I've got the next part of Silent Hill 2. So if you want to see me go through Silent Hill 2 Remastered, and go through that, it is all up on YouTube. They're like 3 hours long. You can watch them on your own time, watch them on your leisure. And yeah, it was a really interesting conversation. I was kind of half paying attention because I was trying to like commentate on that.
Walter _ White 4368 is now following.
I don't know. Okay, thanks for the follow, I guess. Walter White? What's up, Walter White? We're ending the stream. I hope you have fun with my friend over watching Final Fantasy 9, because I love Final Fantasy 9. I remember when we were like 1, 2, and 3. Well, when you learn about them, I'll have to get into it next time. But when you learn about them, it's like subtraction and addition, and I can't teach you now because I have 10 seconds. Anyway, go check me out on the YouTubes and stuff, and go have fun with Fluffy Boy. Give him lots of love, and go gush about Final Fantasy 9. It's like Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy 10 are like my favorite ones. Who, what, where? Too bad it's already over. We got 5 seconds. Bye. I'll see you next Wednesday with a new game. Bye.